Good morning. This is Thursday, June 29th, 1995, and as part of our continuing process of interviewing World War II veterans on the 50th anniversary of the conclusion of that particular war, we're now interviewing Eddie Baker, who is essentially representing the Marines of Scriba. Eddie and Mark.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Baker, can you just tell us a little bit about where you were born and raised?
Right where I live, down the Scriba.
And that's out on the minor road there?
Minor road, yeah.
Okay. When did you first enlist in the Marines? And where did you first enlist?
I was sworn in at Buffalo April 4th, 1944.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And where did you go for basic training?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about your training? What were you trained in?
Well, it's hard to say. You've got a little of everything. You've got the rifle range. You got, first thing they'll taught you how to march.
Okay. All right. We're
make up your own bunk in a certain way.
okay. Yeah.
Did you bounce the quarter off of it?
I don't think I tried that.
Okay.
That was a familiar way of testing to see whether the blankets and the sheet were tight enough.
Okay.
Taut, I guess, is the word I really want.
And then where did you go after basic training?
It was Camp Pendleton. It's about 38 miles north of San Diego.
Okay. And what did you do there?
Well, we just trained on maneuvers and problems, they call them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, did you have some specialized training along the way?
Well, I went to BAR school, Browning Automatic Rifle School.
Nice, okay. And then you shipped out of the West Coast?
Yeah.
To Hawaii, or?
We stopped off there.
Okay.
We were headed for Guam, and we finally got there after a month and a half, approximately.
So did you, you didn't go on, the ship went by itself to Hawaii, right?
It was alone, yes.
And then after that, have a convoy?
Yeah. Got into more dangerous waters, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. What was the convoy like? How many ships were in it?
I have no idea. There were just a lot of them.
Yeah, okay.
Generally with the transports in the middle and the destroyers, etc.
Destroyer escorts and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
What I set sail on was a Liberty ship, the Alcoa Patriot.
Oh, okay.
They carried troops as well as supplies.
Was it possible for them to provide any degree of air cover for the convoy, or?
There wasn't much on that ship, no.
Were there any other Scriba residents or Oswego residents that you knew?
Not on there, no.
That you ran into some other places?
Yeah, I ran into Arnie Holiday over on Guam.
Okay.
He was in the Air Force.
And he was from Scriba?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked me up. He thought he seen me go by in a Jeep.
Okay.
So he wrote home to his wife to get my address, and by that way he traced me down.
Okay.
You must have been in Guam for some time then.
Yeah, I was there about a year.
Oh, all right. And then from Guam you went?
To Iwo Jima.
Okay.
And then back to Guam.
Okay, were you in the initial invasion of Iwo Jima?
No, it was a reserve division.
Okay. But I assume you were able to see the devastation there.
Oh yeah.
When did you arrive at Guam? I mean, sorry, when did you arrive at Iwo Jima?
It was I don't know, we went aboard ship early in February. They pulled out in the harbor, and then we sat and waited, and then finally they took off. And it took about 3 days, I guess.
Okay.
But we went ashore the 24th of February.
Okay. And what were things like when you went ashore?
I guess you could say confusion.
great deal of damage.
Some of those, yeah, those pictures give you an idea what it was like.
Uh-huh.
Were there still pockets of resistance when you landed in Iwo Jima? Or?
About 2/3 of the island hadn't been taken yet.
All right.
And
Did you participate in some of the cleanup then, or?
Oh, yeah. I was in a communication platoon at that time. On my discharge, it says participated in action against the enemy, so
Okay. That's,
that says it, I guess.
that says it.
I've done as I was told.
again,
Most of us did, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I assume we wouldn't get this far.
yeah. Can you describe a little bit about maybe like just what one day was like when you were at Iwo Jima? What did you wake up to, and what was it day like?
Well, you just woke up and got your little can of rations for breakfast, and
Mm-hmm.
some days you didn't do anything, just wait around.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I'd make a trip to A Company, or some days I'd take a trip back to regiment.
Okay. You were a messenger, right?
Yeah.
Runner. Okay.
And how long were you on Iwo Jima?
We left early in April. Got there, like I say, the 24th, and it was a 4-part April we left.
Okay.
May.
No, April.
Let's see, you got there the 24th of April?
Beg your pardon, 24th of February.
Oh, there we are.
Okay.
So really you had almost 2 or 3 months there.
A month and a half.
A month and a half.
And so when you left back for Guam, what was the island like then? Most all secure when you left?
Yeah. There was an army outfit came in to garrison it,
Okay.
garrison troops, and the Air Force used it.
Okay.
And that's where they based their fighter planes. When the B-29s went over, they'd pick up their escort that went over Japan.
Okay.
Now, were you there for the flag raising?
No.
No. Okay. No, had that mountain been secured? What?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So did they find any, was there any natives on the island there when it was all secure?
The only thing I see was some Korean laborers and people that were, there were no civilians there, no families.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They were just hiding out, right, you said?
Well, yeah, they come out of the ground like moles.
Uh-huh. Hiding out in a cave, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was one of the problems, of course, with the Iwo Jima, the large cave complexes they had, apparently.
Because one thought that struck me, here they all huddled up, all stripped naked. The doctor and the corpsman was working them over with bandages and salve and louse powder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, how could such scroungy looking people cause so much trouble?
Oh,
So when you returned back to Guam, what did you do there?
Well, we just went back to training and
Okay.
getting the division back in shape for another one.
Okay. Okay. And some people you had replacements come in to
Oh, yeah.
fill up the division again?
See, a lot of that division went overseas in January of '43. They went to Bougainville and they went to Guam, and after Iwo they sent back to the States on rotation.
Okay.
We had a lot of new people come in then. Some of them were overseas for their second time.
Okay. What was, when do you think morale was the highest?
Well, I don't know about that.
probably the day they heard that they were going home.
For them guys, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, what was Guam like? There were civilians, of course, there.
Yeah, Chamorros.
Yes.
Oh, there were some villages scattered all over it, small villages.
That was the home of, what are those birds called? Goonie birds?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see no wildlife there much.
Uh,
There was some pigs and cattle running loose, but they'd been brought in there.
Mm-hmm.
And So at Guam, originally they set up all the base there, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? What was the base like at Guam?
Well, like I say, mostly Quonset huts and steel buildings and tents.
Okay.
They were temporary.
And 2 hospitals there, you said?
They had 2 fleet hospitals, I expect. There was more than that, because the Air Force, like I say, was there, Army Air Corps.
Now, did they bring in people from other islands, or did they, like from Iwo Jima, if people had troubles, did they bring them into the hospitals at Guam?
No, I guess not. Well, they took care of their own, the natives on Guam.
Okay.
What few people left on Iwo Jima was prisoners of war.
When do you think, was there a time among your squadron that morale was low?
Why, not really. Getting low, boredom was a big problem over there.
Okay.
You didn't go to town and kick up your heels, there was no town.
Okay.
You had weekend off and nothing much to do.
Okay. What kind of things did you do?
You could play ball, or you could read, or go visit.
Okay. That's about it though, right?
That's about it.
Okay.
Did any of these U.S. troops hit Guam that we keep hearing about?
Yeah, after the war especially.
Oh, okay.
I missed most of them for some reason or other. Gertrude Lawrence, have you ever heard of her? She was
Yes.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her. And she got quite risque for them days. And the following Sunday morning, I guess the chaplain worked her over in church.
My.
Did they, were there services, did the chaplain hold services every week?
Oh, yeah.
Usually a lot of soldiers attend those? Or-
He had quite a few, yeah.
Now, after Guam, you came back to the States?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were discharged from service in
Bainbridge, Maryland.
45?
No, 46.
46.
May the 1st.
And then you returned to Scriba?
Yeah. Never left.
What things did you, what jobs did you hold when you came back?
Oh, I puttered around on the farm for a while, and then finally I went up to Nestle's and stayed there.
Okay.
36 years, 9 months, and 15 days, I believe.
Okay, you got them counted. Where did you work in Nestle's?
Mostly in the shipping.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm retired from there. Now enjoying life.
Yeah. I sometimes wish I was still working.
There's a regularity to working that you don't have in retirement, I've discovered. About the only time you find me out at this time of day is when Mark schedules interviews.
When you went into the service in 44. Now, so you were in the U.S. During some of the time that the war was going on.
Oh, yeah.
What was life like during the U.S. at that time?
Well, it was pretty much normal, except everything was rationed. They didn't do much Sunday driving or anything like that. There was no gasoline.
How much did they ration you to for gasoline?
An A stamp gave you 3 gallons a week. And there was a B stamp and a C stamp. You could get more gas if you qualified.
Farmers and things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And what other kinds of things were rationed?
Shoes, canned goods. I don't think clothing was rationed. It's just hard to get.
No, sure. Okay. Did they have these drives for junk metal and things?
Oh, yeah, scrap drives.
What were things like on the radio or on the newsreels? Did you see things about the war on that quite a bit?
Not unless you went to the show.
Okay.
There was no television then.
Right. Did you hear a lot on the radio?
Oh, yeah, you get your news broadcasts.
Okay,
Sure.
okay.
Did you go into Oswego very often?
Not too much,
Okay. Of course, there
because I
was-
went to school there in high school.
Mhm.
I guess also back in the U.S., what were, you kind of get a sense of what people's feelings were? Were people all gung-ho to go to these?
Quite a bit.
Uh,
They were mobilized the whole country.
okay.
Everybody done something pretty much.
Working on the farm, did you have, were there any changes in how much you were producing, or?
No, it was just a little small place.
Okay.
Raised what you could eat, and that was about all.
Okay. Did it seem like people, maybe in the city of Oswego, do you think they had maybe more gardens and things for that? They started up in their own backyard?
They probably did. Victory Gardens, they call them.
Okay. What do you think was one of the most memorable moments of the war for you?
Probably my first day in the boot camp in San Diego.
Uh,
Quite a change, and you're fresh off the farm and a long ways from home.
yeah. Yeah.
You took the train across the
Yeah.
country?
Okay.
Changed to Chicago,
Was this a regular passenger or a troop train?
a regular passenger. There was 5 or 6 of us from this area went,
Okay.
and we joined up with some more on the way. We changed trains to Chicago, Kansas City, and Los Angeles.
You left from Syracuse?
Yeah. Yeah, I went from Syracuse to Buffalo, and then we were sworn in, and then
Okay. That was New York Central then, in those
Yeah.
days? Then Union Pacific?
yeah,
Or Santa Fe, maybe?
Santa Fe
Yeah.
from the Southern Pacific.
Yeah.
See, I come all the way home from Oregon on leave after I got back from overseas. I had 38-day leave,
Mhm.
and we rode the Great Northern through Montana that way.
Oh, yes.
So boot camp was really your most memorable moment because of such a change, right? Was it pretty hard for a lot of guys at 18 years old coming in to boot
Yeah,
camp?
we all had problems.
Mhm. Now, in San Diego, you were with guys mainly from the West Coast, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh,
Except Ed Clark, he used to run the diner down here.
Mm-hmm.
He went through boot training with me.
Oh, okay.
So did you meet many people from the East in San Diego?
No, not. Midwest, a lot of them are from there.
Okay. Okay.
Well, this has been very helpful, and we appreciate your coming in.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, it's wonderful.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Mr. Baker.
Do you, okay, you wanna?
Sure.
Uh,